Hi everyone. Today we are going to see Wole Soyinka's The Swamp Dwellers. I am Dr. Vinmayil, Assistant Professor of English, BB Vaniya Perumal College for Women, Virudhunagar. In the last video we have seen Wole Soyinka is not only a dramatist, poet, essayist, he is also a political activist. He got into political controversy and got arrested and then released. And after Civil War was over, Soyinka was staying with his friend in France. And Soyinka has strongly criticized many Nigerian dictators. And during the regime of General Sani Abacha, Soyinka escaped from Nigeria. And all these revolutionary attributes of the Nigerian playwright Wole Soyinka is reflected in his plays through a critical satire upon the social structure and the practices. His intensely active, controversial, and productive career has been remarkable. And that's why he has earned the titles Tiger on the A stage and Nigeria's Bernard Shaw. It just recognized his fierce, self assertive, intellectual toughness and independent representation. He bridged the separate cultures in his criticism. His ability to create strong characters and strong dramatic situations brought him the Nobel Prize. He has the instinctive sense of drama. He himself has stated in one of his plays, I quote, "My prime duty as a playwright is to provide excellent theatre to make sure they, the audience, do not leave the theatre bored." Yes, of course, The Swamp Dwellers is one such play which has induced the audience to retain on the seats for the next scene to be performed. Swamp Dwellers is a debutant play of him. It was staged in 1958. It is a short one-day play. It is about the life of an impoverished Nigerian family. It was first performed at the Student Movement Theatre, London in September 1958 and then at Arts Theatre, Ibadan in February 1959. It is about the fallen one-day life of young Igwezu who has met his fallen fortunes, and it serves as a cautionary message regarding Nigerians' expectations of prosperity following their impending liberation from British rule. It is about the main conflict between the tradition and modern lifestyle. And it delineates with the pathetic plight of a farmer's family living in the swamp. Let's see the setting. This one-act play takes place in a humble hut perched on stilts in the swamplands of the Niger Delta. You can see the delta as well as a hut in the swamplands. There we can see the sparse furnishings, including a battered swivel chair set beside a few barber tools. Yes, of course, the protagonist is a barber. And Makuri, and here are the list of important characters. Makuri, the farmer, and his wife Alu, both are about 60 years old, and they are discussing about their twin sons Igwezu and Aushike. And it is believed that there was a spiritual connection with each twin, even it is about death or anything, especially in death. If one dies, the other may soon follow. They are discussing about this when the play opens. And there are other four important characters: Kadiye, the priest, the beggar, the drummer, and Desala, who won't appear in the play, but there was a reference about her. She is the wife of Igwezu. Later on, she eloped with his twin Aushike. And let's see the story. The couple's son Aushike left their village 10 years ago to live in the city, during which time he has enriched himself but never ever communicates with his parents. And Alu, while conversing with his wife, with her husband, says Auchiki is dead, not meaning he is physically dead, because she wouldn't jeopardize his twin brother's life using careless words. Rather, she means that Auchiki, by serving himself from his familial and cultural roots, is spiritually dead. Auchiki's twin Igwezu also departed from the city 8 months ago. The play opens, but he has honored his filial duties, even sending the swivel chair as he had promised. So we can see the twin sons of Alu and Makiri. One is more uh, selfish, and one is more having familial bonds. And when the play begins, Igwezu has just returned to live again in the village, and he has immediately gone out to check his fields. Because there was a severe flooding, the swamps are so treacherous, and Alu worries about Igwezu's safety, and she doesn't want to see another son, resolving to go looking for him. But her husband scolds her for needlessly lamenting over the safety of the son, a grown-up son. To distract her, he banters with her about infidelity, although he has no doubts regarding her virtue. And he reminds of her of their passionate wedding night. And the conversation between the old couple goes like this. And there was a knock on the door, and when opening, they find a tall, white-robed beggar, and Maguri invites him. Alu washes and anoints his feet. The beggar is a Muslim from the north, and he explains due to the fly sickness he experienced as a child, he lost his eyesight. He also speaks about the long drought in the north that has devastated the region's agriculture, which was followed by rain, and then they produced abundant crops. But unfortunately, locusts, the insects which eat crops, they just ate the field. And however, these people left once again with nothing. The beggar is now seeking for an opportunity to farm, and he begs to Makuri for a piece of land, piece of earth, to reclaim from the swamp. He has no ideas about how to share the land with the beggar, but the beggar was very much knowledgeable to salvage the swampland so it might bring prosperity to the farmers. The swamp is the abode of the local deity. The swamp is worshipped by the people of Nigerian belt. Because it is considered as the abode of the local deity, the swamp servant. So Makuri denounces the beggar's request as it is a blasphemy. And the beggar, respectful of Makuri's beliefs, says he will travel on. At that moment, the drummer drums and enters the hut, bowing to the next entrant, a very large, opulently dressed man. He is followed by another servant who fans the flies away. Yes, the serpent priest, Kedia, enters into the swamp hut. He has heard of Igwezu's return, and it becomes very apparent, and he is anxious to know about Igwezu's wealth he procured from the city. As the serpent priest, the Kadiye accepts sacrificial offerings from villagers for the serpent, that deity, local deity serpent, guarantees its protection from misfortunes. In the name of the serpent deity, he just got offerings from the local people. The Gadiya departs, saying he will return for a shave when Igwezu is home. And moments later, Igwezu enters the hut, but he was in complete despair because instead of finding his field flourishing, he could only see the destruction of his farm due to flood. The beggar consoles him, promising that his farm will again brought into the protectivity, and he will himself give bondship and restore the fertility of his farmlands. Moreover, the beggar indirectly hints that the Kadiya could be a fraud. He asks Igwesu if the Kadiya is fat, suggesting, though not saying, that such self-indulgence may make the villagers starve. And it points out Kadiya's spiritual insincerity. And then they could listen to more drum beats announcing the return of Kadiya, who asks about Igwesu's success in the society. And in response, Igwesu says, I lost everything, my savings, even my standing as a man, because he has lost all his money in the city to his brother, as well as his wife to his rich brother. His brother gave him a loan but demanded Igwesu pledge his harvest as security. But now he has no harvest in the village. He finds only his crops destroyed, and it remains the Kadiye that he made the proper sacrifices to the swamp serpent to ensure its protection, but he has been forsaken at last. Even though Igwesu believed much on the serpent deity and offered much sacrifice to protect his land from flood and everything, at last he was forsaken by the god, and it shows that he is now in complete hopeless condition. The Kadiye, in a cool manner, sits on the barber chair and asks Igwesu to shave, and it aggravates Igwesu's anger. He holds the shaving blade to Gedio's jaw and asks, "Why are you so fat, Harry?" And his faith, these words just pointed out the loss of his faith in the serpent and his promise of salvation too. And this outburst angers the Kadie and he threatens retribution. But those words of retribution just threatened Igwesu. Mercury reluctantly also advises his son to leave the village, and the play ends as Igwesu exits the hut, his destination unknown. And anyhow, we could find a positive hope that it was not the responsibility of Kedi to protect the land, but the beggar's assurance of staying in the village to give account to Igwesu. A beggar who was much with confidence and who has the knowledge to farm the land and retain its fertility even after flood. And his hope from the beginning, from the fly sickness, from the flood, from the locusts, he never has been left desperate. So the sense of danger what Igwesu feels from the Kadiot, the priest, makes him flee to the city, whereas the blind beggar with much hope stays in the village to cultivate the land. And the themes of the play are variety in number. The few themes are mentioned here. The predominant theme is to highlight the inescapable tragedy of the poor family living in Delta region. It gives a complete picture of the individual existing in the Nigerian society and his conflict with the southern Nigerian society. Therefore, it deals with the conflict between tradition and modernity. The play mirrors the socio-cultural pattern, the sufferings of swamp dwellers, and the need for absorbing new ideas. And so the playwright makes a call to the people of his place to come out with new ideologies. The struggle between human beings and unfavorable forces of nature is also mentioned in the play. And Soyinka presents the modern Africa where the wind of change started blowing. Swamp Dwellers expresses the necessity for a balance between the old and the new. He just criticizes the blind belief in the old ideas and making step forward to move to the new ones. And he satirizes the betrayal of vacation for the attraction and power in one form or another. Here the vacation is mainly agro-based. And we find that how the existence of the swamp dwellers is very harsh when it becomes agricultural land. And water plays the role of both the creator and destroyer in the life of the swamp dwellers. The swamp dwellers are at the mercy of furious nature unless they compromise tradition with modernity, embrace modern technology. They wouldn't have a bright future. This is what the playwright wants to emphasize. And makes a call to give up their superstitious beliefs and stop trusting on the fake priests. Thus, the play has permanent place in the history of Nigerian drama. Thank you for your patient listening.